Previously on Via Non Capta. So here we are with episode 7, General Order 1. Last time we finished up the Hull Ward effect, and that was the virus on the ship from this Sadian invaders. They infected Arhat and Jahan. We had to deal with all that fun, good stuff, and the cure ended up being Vulcan RNA. And in the meantime, what Lozesh had asked the captain to do was to get his shuttle from Starbase 2. But the captain didn't want to go all the way back to Starbase 2, so she asked if the USS Varen could meet them halfway to transfer Lozesh's shuttle from theirs to the Drake. So that's kind of where we are. Is meeting up with the USS Varen, Captain Dupek, and Captain Dupek is a Vulcan. And as you come within sensor range, he hails the ship.
Open channels.
So let's have, just so, beginning of the mission and everything, let's have Jahan, let's have John roll for open hails, like open communications. You are rolling a control engineering task, and we'll have Mike roll a communications engineering task for the ship. It's difficulty 0 because it doesn't. So this is just for momentum since it's the opening thing.
I rolled an 18.
I see. Very good.
I rolled a 9 and a 19, so that is one success.
Okay. One momentum, Andrew. So on the screen appears a older, very stoic looking Vulcan, very traditional looking. He is in normal. He's in Starfleet attire. He's not in Vulcan robes or anything. He has the appropriate jumper. And he has the gold band on his shoulders. He says, "Greetings, Captain Knightley. I am Captain Dupek. I am here with the shuttle that you requested from Starbase 2.
Greetings, Captain Dupek. Thank you very much for making the journey. Appreciate it. We'll start that transfer now."
Very well, Commander, he says. So you see on sensors that there is their shuttle bay opens. Out flies the shuttle. And you give the command to open the shuttle bay for you guys. Actually, it wouldn't be the shuttle bay, it would be the cargo hold. You guys have the cargo because the shuttle bay is full. So, and in goes the shuttle. And then an officer from their ship works his way back to your transporter room, and then he beams back over to the Varen. And Captain Dupek says, "Captain, we thank you for relaying the information about this new disease that affects Andorians to Starbase 2. There were some initial reports happening on Starbase 2, but they were quickly dealt with due to your doctor."
I'm very happy to hear that. It was quite the experience, but my experienced staff took care of it quickly and efficiently. I'm happy to be of help.
Very well.
Captain Dupek, since you've made all this travel, would you and your crew like to stay for dinner?
I have nothing pressing, so I could accept dinner, yes.
Well, I'm sure your crew wouldn't mind a little bit of shore leave for the evening.
Yes, it may be nice for two different crews to communicate
We
with one
humans
another.
call that fun.
Ah, yes. I am aware of this.
Yes. You, however, could enjoy some time relaxing, meditating, if you wish. I'm sure Mr. Silva wouldn't mind engaging in Vulcan activity with you.
Understand. Is that your science officer you speak of?
Yes. Have you met him? Would you like me to introduce you?
I have not met the science officer, no.
Would you like me to introduce you?
I believe it would be best to meet him probably in person this evening, where you spoke of having a meal together.
I look forward to your crew's arrival in person aboard my ship.
Very good, Captain. Dupac out.
Yes. That's funny.
So you guys have like an interchange of the crew. So does anybody want to go over to the Varen? Now the Varen is a Sirach class ship. Yeah.
Yep.
So that is what Dupac is the captain of. That's like
That thing's pretty cool.
so that's what his ship looks like. So if anybody wants to go over there to like look at it, which it is a Vulcan ship for anybody who doesn't know what that is. It is a ship made by the Vulcans at the Vulcan High Command.
Can I force Ensign Clark to go over there with me? So we can check out their engines room? Because we're real engines nerds.
I'm going to be staying on the ship. I'm in charge of security, and I'm going to make sure that no one causes issues because we're bringing over a whole bunch of unknowns.
Well, at least you would have files on them because they're all Starfleet. They're all Federation.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm staying because didn't the captain invite me to dinner?
It sounds like you and the captain are entertaining Dupac and whoever Dupac brings to dinner. So now it just sounds like we need to know what
I go to Ensign Clark's chambers. And I push the space button so that whatever the space doorbell is, and then
yep.
What I do.
You touch the wrong thing and set off an alarm.
Ensign, it is Lieutenant Commander Jahan, and I was wondering if you'd like to accompany me over to the whatever that ship is called over there, and we can check out the engine room. Seeing as engine nerds.
Yeah, I just got off my shift, so let's do it.
Perfect. Unpaid work. Let's go.
I don't know if we're paid at all.
Paid in space chips and cheeseburgers.
Space chip, yeah.
Credits, I think.
Oh, room and board.
No, he says no. You get paid in fun and responsibility.
Free education.
Oh, yeah. The worst kind of payment.
Okay. I guess we'll start with the captain and Sova and Dupac. And Dupac brought over his second in command.
Excellent. Who are they?
They are also a Vulcan.
Excellent. Oh, I'm so ready for more calculated Vulcan speech. Oh, bring it
on. Their name is Commander Ra.
Commander Ra. That's a man?
Yes.
All right. So I guess we can just assume that like we all meet in the like formal dining area.
Yeah, they would meet in your like captain's like dinner quarters.
Okay, so is Mr. Sova in the room with me, right?
I would be sitting next to you.
Okay. In your best Vulcan attire? Are you in your Vulcan robes?
No. I have my uniform on.
Okay. You're fancy in morning. All right. Captain Dupac, thank you for bringing your crew over, and it's nice to meet you, Commander Ra.
So when the door opens and you see Commander Dupac, he is like he's like in formal. He's dressed up, but he's not in uniform. And his commander is in uniform.
So he thinks it's a date. Okay.
So he says, "Thank you, Captain," and he turns to his commander after he looks at Sova and you, because what are you dressed in?
I would have my formal like Starfleet dinner party clothes on.
So you would have like uniform dress clothes on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he looks at the two of you and then turns back to his commander and he says, "You were correct. I am underdressed." And
No
then
worries at all.
he walks into the room.
No worries at all, Captain. I'm happy that you're comfortable here. May I introduce you to my science officer, Mr. Sova? Mr. Sova, Captain Dupek.
Commander.
Lieutenant?
Excellent. Please let us all sit down and enjoy this meal. I've had my chef create a traditional Vulcan meal for you. I hope you won't be offended by me eating not that.
Since part of the Federation now, Captain, we have little disagreements with the melding of multiple species.
Excellent.
Outwardly.
Yeah, exactly. Inside, he's like, that little jerk.
Doesn't want to eat roots, and I don't even like her face.
Oh my god. Okay, so do we all awkwardly sit down in silence?
They stand until you tell them where to sit.
Oh my god. Okay. Please sit wherever
I'm
you
gonna
would
say
like.
all three. I'm gonna say all three of them stand until you direct where they to sit.
I'll say
They're waiting. They're waiting for the captain to see where the captain sits first.
so I'm like taking my seat. And then I look up and I see that they're all like standing, and then I say, please sit wherever you're comfortable.
So Captain Dupek sits the farthest from you. He sits on the other side of the table.
Wow. Rude.
So now you,
Arrogant.
Sova, it's between you and Ra. Where
I would sit next to the captain.
Okay.
Thank you.
So there you go.
I don't want to be the little sad girl alone at the end of the table.
Because it's one of those ones where it's 6 seats, right? And there's 2 on each end, and then there's 2 in the middle.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's how it is in the show. Yeah.
So I would sit probably on her right side, with my back to the window.
Gotcha.
Nice.
So Ra sits next to Captain Dupek on the opposite side of Sova.
It's so awkward. Oh my god. This is like giving me. Oh.
Lieutenant, I wanted to inform you that we have the parcel that you requested.
Thank you. I will put it into my closet as soon as I have a moment.
Commander Ra, would you mind allowing me to get to know you better?
Yes, you may ask me questions.
Excellent. How did you come to be in Starfleet?
I served in the Vulcan High Command for many years. And then when the Federation was brought together 13 years ago, our ship merged into the Federation, and I stayed at my post. I did not move from underneath Captain Dupek here.
Logical. So, how does being in Starfleet compare to being in the Vulcan High Command?
It is different. There are many benefits with working with different species and having different points of view and different areas to make contact with. As you have seen being out here, Captain, that there are many individuals who do not always agree with our way of thinking. So it is more agreeable that there are more allies available to us.
I'm happy to hear that you enjoy it, or that you are at least finding scientific pleasure in what you are doing. That was quite the sigh. God,
well, you can tell. So you can tell that every time you say things like pleasure and enjoy, you can see that he's it's like you're burping it in his face, but he's just kind of dealing with it.
Wow. That's really that's very like immature of him actually. It's pretty funny. He just got done telling me how much he likes
but
working
he's
with
not
our
saying
hands.
anything. He's not saying anything. You could just see, you could just read his face that
No, he's
he's
just
not.
sighing like a passive aggressive fool.
Yeah, he's being a passive aggressive jerk.
Captain, perhaps you would like to talk about the comet. It was a most fascinating sight.
Yes, I was wondering how our guests feel about this comet.
Yes, we have read Lieutenant Silva's findings, and we found them most fascinating. Our science officers have been reading them over. We are very interested in discovering what. And you see Commander Ra look over at Captain Dupac, and Captain Dupac says, "BG shrimp." He says, "Ah, yes. What the BG shrimp do for this comet called the Golden Hind?" Yes.
I look forward to reading your reports on that. I was hoping to spend more time studying them myself, but I had other pressing matters to deal with, as you well know.
Yes.
Yeah. So, once we're finished with our delicious dinner, I want you both to feel free to do whatever it is that you would like to do on what we would call a night off. That's meditation or simply relaxing in your quarters alone, reading, whatever it is you choose to do. I would be happy to have you.
The few human officers we have aboard the ship have used this term time off or off time. Yeah. We are familiar with this terminology.
Yes, I'm sure you are. How was your meal?
So they're politely eating their meal. They don't seem to have any problems.
Very good.
Our new chef seems to do better keeping the flavors under control than our previous one.
Yes, so we agree with you, Lieutenant. This of the human prepared meals that we have had, this is the most closest to Vulcan cuisine that we have experienced outside of our ship. We commend you in your ability to describe a Vulcan meal to a human chef. Most impressive.
Well, I'm delighted to hear that you find it satisfactory.
It is most satisfactory, yes.
Very good. I will pass those compliments along to the chef.
So they finish their meals pretty much almost exactly at the same time. And once that's done, you basically seemed like you were indicating that they're free to do what they want after the meal.
Free to go. Yeah.
So they both get up and they go to the door and they say, "Lieutenant." Captain Dupac says, "Lieutenant." "Captain."
"Captain, Commander."
"Captain, Commander."
And then Captain Dupac reaches up and he says, "Live long and prosper, Captain."
So it's not offensive if I do it back, right?
No.
And I would say, "You as well, Captain."
And he turns and he walks back. He walks out. And then right before like a few seconds, maybe like 3 seconds after the captain goes out, the commander turns to you and said, "I know that Captain Dupac would never say as much himself. He's a very private man. But I know that he appreciated this invitation and that this was one of the more agreeable meals outside of our ship that we've had in a while."
I'm very happy to hear that. That makes me happy. Please help him understand he was not underdressed and I took no offense. And that I enjoyed our evening as well.
I will relay that information to him.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Captain.
Yes.
Lieutenant. And then he leaves.
Yeah, he thought it was a date.
Do you want to roll on whether or not you think he thought it was a date?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. What am I rolling, sir?
It is presence and command.
Presence and
And
command.
I'm gonna, you know what? Because he's a Vulcan, I'm gonna make it difficulty 2.
And I have to roll 13. And I have to get 2. Okay. What's the little Delta badge mean?
A 1.
Then I literally got 2 successes. I have a 1 and a 13.
Look at that. Well, no, you got 3 successes, right? Because it's a double.
Yeah.
Cool.
So what you get from Captain Dupek is that he just was there to have like a dinner. There's nothing weird.
Okay.
He was just a captain coming
Boring.
over. He was a captain. You got the impression that he was coming to like relax and do like human things and trying to be more like agreeable. He wasn't trying to be like, because he's a captain, so he's trying to be a little more.
But then I surprised him and made it Vulcan-y.
No, you don't get that impression. You just get the impression that he just was trying to be relaxed, and then realized that everybody else was in uniform. That's all.
Okay. All right. Well.
But what you get from Commander Ra is that maybe Commander Ra liked you.
Excellent.
But that's all you get.
And then just like for the rest of the evening,
okay,
the captain would just search out like a fun party or like a fun, some girlies to hang out with, like something enjoyable. Get a drink, talk to some girls or friends, people.
Okay.
Like a girls' night.
Nice.
Okay.
You're gonna hang out with Rabasa and Chu, and
and people from the other ship and whatever. If there's like a party going on or something.
Well, the other ship is like 90% Vulcan.
Excellent. So I'm hanging out with my gal pals on this crew.
Now we can cut to Jahan and Ensign Clark going on to the Varens to look at the.
Is it? I'm going to be right back.
Okay.
So I'm just going to have Silva take the meditation robe and go meditate with it.
Okay.
And make sure to put it in the closet safely afterwards.
Okay. Okay.
So how do we take a ship over? We don't beam anywhere.
No, it's docked.
They would, yeah. I would say they're docked like side by side. So there's like a transfer like tube between the two ships.
Yeah, it's like boarding an airplane.
Yeah.
All right. Then I'm waiting there, and as Ensign Clark walks into there, he sees me, and I am in their pink robes now, right? After they tried getting washed.
Yes.
I'm wearing them.
So you've gone back into Sova's.
Yeah. Yes. When he was eating dinner.
I'd say. So you're wearing pink Vulcan robes. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
I say to Ensign Clark, is that what you're going to be wearing?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just wearing my uniform.
No, hey, to each his or her own.
So do you guys make your way onto the ship, I take it then?
Yes.
Okay. So
yeah, we walk right on.
You go through.
Walk past everybody. We walk right to the engine room.
Yeah. Pretty much. There's not a lot there's not a lot of people because it's like after hours, so the hallways are not filled. But you do pass a couple people, and most of them are I would say all of them are Vulcans, and the few that you walk by, they don't really make a face at you. John, they don't really look at Jahan, and they're like, you kind of get this feeling though that they're kind of perplexed, but they don't really doesn't look like they're also trying to investigate like why. They're just kind of more like, huh.
Well, considering it's not quite the accurate colors for robes.
So when you go into the engine room, their engine room is obviously laid out differently than the Drake's. But the first thing that Clark notices is that their Warp 7 engine is a little more streamlined. The Vulcans, when Earth had their Warp 5 engine, they already had a Warp 6 engine, so they're kind of more used to having basically their Warp 7 engine can run longer than the Drake's because it's a little more, they're used to having better technology.
I've never seen one of these in person before. How about you, Clark? Ever seen one of these?
Yep.
Oh,
I've seen them.
Guess that's the benefits of living off Earth.
Yeah. Working on the space station, saw a lot of these.
And then you see from the back part corner of the ship, you see a Vulcan standing there working at a console.
Get a feel for the locals, shall we?
Yeah.
And I walk over to him and I say, "Greetings, fellow engineer."
And he turns and you see him kind of look at you, but he doesn't do the feet to head. He does head to feet. And he says, "Greetings." And then he pauses and he looks at Ensign Clark and he says, and he looks back at Jahan and he says, "Fellow engineer."
So I say, "Oh no, there's two of us. He's actually my boss."
In a technical sense.
He has a little bit more of the flair for the dramatics.
I can understand the technical.
Just leave the dramatics to me. There's no reason for you to get into that, sir.
He says, "Well, I am Nipar, the Varen's chief engineer. I take it by your wide-eyed look, this is the first time you've seen a Vulcan warp engine."
I've read many of things, but never have seen it with my own eyes. Very impressive.
He says, "Well, follow me. I'll show you something." So he goes up up a ladder and he goes across this catwalk and he shows you this hatch. And he reaches down and he pushes a couple buttons. This little tiny door on the thing pops open, and then all this steam comes out, and this out of this almost like a pedestal thing raises up, and on it is this very clear gem. And he says, "This is what Vulcan ships use. It is called lithium." Mm-hmm. He goes, "I am familiar with Earth ships using nuclear energy, and this is how our ships are run. You would have this technology on your Earth ship, but our technologies are incompatible until we merge both technologies."
Fascinating. We use lithium on Earth, actually. Used to be able to recharge remotes with them. Fascinating technology. To use it in ships. It's quite a sight to behold.
Yeah, we even tried to do lithium based vehicles on Earth, and that didn't pan out.
Oh. It sure didn't.
That's when we went to the nuclear route.
And that really took off for us.
Yeah, that really set us in space.
I
That
am
was a joke.
familiar with humans having such humor, but I did not know Andorians.
Well, growing up on Earth, you tend to pick up a thing here or there.
Understood. And he turns to Clark and he says, "Baseball." And he points at Clark.
Oh, he got you good, Ensign.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I am familiar with this sport. I enjoy the numbers and the statistics.
Very calculated game. Seems something you would enjoy.
Yes.
I feel you'd have an unfair advantage knowing the angles and mathematics of the sport.
I believe it would present a challenge, but I have seen many of the games, and I know there are many good Earth players, so it would be fascinating to see how a Vulcan player would handle against an average or even excelled human player.
It's true. I think we should get a Vulcan team together.
I would like to see that.
Intergalactic League, if you will.
This is something that perhaps we should pose to the fleet in general. Perhaps on days when we return to Earth to celebrate First Contact Day, we could do something of this nature.
It's very good team building. At least on Earth, it is.
This is most agreeable. Do you play baseball? I didn't catch your name, sorry.
I am Lieutenant Commander Jahan. And
you?
I'm Ensign Clark.
Very nice to meet you, Ensign and Lieutenant Commander. But yes, do you play baseball, either one of you?
No.
No, definitely no. Did not.
No.
No.
Any sport. Any sport.
Did partake in a little bit of racing, if that counts as a sport. I have to tell you, Earth ground vehicles. It's just amazing technology. I doubt you have anything like it on Vulcan.
I'm only familiar with some of their vehicles, but I will look into this.
Oh, I have many books. I can send them over.
Please.
Well, I suppose if we shouldn't bother you any longer, Ensign, we should probably get out of his hair.
And he says, "No, you were no bother. It was agreeable to see other people from the other ship. We don't have many other Federation officers around. And as even though I have no issues with my Vulcan comrades, it's always something to look forward to meeting and interacting with other species, especially Andorians, since we have such a history of turmoil. It is nice to have a agreeable conversation."
Yes. As a matter of fact, it's very agreeable to be in an engine room and not have any conflict, as it has been in our case for the past several months.
I see.
That's true.
And as you're saying that, he turns and he's pushing buttons so that the thing goes back into the engine.
And I'll make sure to pass the message along about maybe some team sports.
Please, please do. I don't have much ability to reach those at the heart of Starfleet, but if you have some in or know somebody who could, I would like that. And he smiles and he looks at Clark and he nods, and then he looks at Jahan, and he kind of gives this like, oh, and then he smiles. I
like this guy, Ensign.
Yeah. He's so much better than Sova.
Yeah, so you guys get the feeling that this like engineer guy is in this room all day and he just deals with like Vulcans, and that he basically, like, even though it was against his nature and against his like inner being to display emotion in any fashion, you could tell that he also likes kind of like mixing the pot. Like he enjoys other people's cultures.
I know the feeling of being in the engine room all the time.
Well, that's why I thought I could get you out of there for a moment, Ensign. And a moment of peace, which very rare here.
It was very nice of you to take me from our engine to another engine.
Yes, that's the only. As far as I know, that's the only places that you're allowed. So
true. Ever since that court order,
I suppose we should go back to our engine room, Ensign.
So then I give him a live long and prosper, and then before I turn around.
And he does it back to you, and then he goes, "Wait."
Baseball.
Baseball.
The Ensign, we're already bonding over team sports. Haven't even played anything.
I doubt we'll ever see any of these people ever again.
Oh no.
We surely won't. We surely won't.
Do you guys like return to the Drake, or do you guys go to like their mess hall, or do you guys like just I
could go for some mess. How about you, Ensign?
Yeah.
Might as well,
see how
get
bad
a real taste from the of our friends' lives here. You get it?
Baseball.
Taste. We're gonna go eat.
Yeah, I got it.
So when you guys get to the mess hall, it's there's no animal meat. It's all pretty much vegetables and fruit and like soups. So it's like broth and things of that. And everything is pretty much not like, like maybe Jahan, you don't know like a ton, like you have enough from Sova, but like Clark knows from being on a space station that like all of this food is going to taste like really bland. It's going to taste like it needs a lot of something more than what it is. But other than that, it's very basic. It's very like 3 ingredient type meals.
So all the humans are over visiting ours.
There are a lot of the other species who are on the Varen are over on the Drake, yes.
Well, I think we've seen all we need to see here, Ensign. I think the kitchen's still open for dinner over on the Drake for a little while.
Yeah. Too bad our captain had the chef prepare all Vulcan meals.
I have an in with the chef. I think we can get a couple of cheeseburgers.
We have an in with the new chef already.
Oh, immediately, yeah. We have a bit of a trade deal. I trade him some space chips. He gives me some cheeseburgers. Don't tell the captain.
Definitely not going to tell the captain.
How dare you?
You're not here. You're not real.
You're not. Go ahead.
Okay, so we let you guys go back to the Drake mess hall, and You have your cheeseburgers and whatever Clark wants to have. We cut to Ashrav. He's just left the mess hall from eating his dinner, and he receives a message from his wife.
Pito.
Okay. So she says in her message that she misses eating dinner with you and the others, and that, normally nighttime is when everybody would spend time together. So she just misses the fact that she's not able to go over how her day went and how your day went. And that even if nobody really had much to talk about, they were always just together. And even with people around her, children and other family members are there. There are times that she feels alone. Things were different in the Imperial Guard. Everyone was going through the same thing, so everybody would lean on each other. But Starfleet is different, she says. Different races don't understand the struggle, but she hopes to see you soon.
Yeah, the message is getting to me where I miss spending time with my family. I miss it was from dinner on when we were usually together. The letter got me worked up, so I decided I'm going to go and do workouts. There's usually 5 different fast-paced, cardio-based workouts that Andorians do. So I'm going to run through them and try and get myself to calm down after receiving the letter. Once I calm down, I will write her back. It's just right now, no.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, I want my family together, but I understand right now is not a good time.
Yeah, being pulled in 2 different directions where that the Federation needs your assistance, as you clearly have seen that there's a lot going on out here in this sector of space. It's dangerous, but you also have a family at home that, is used to you returning, because the Imperial Guard didn't go tremendously far from the area of Andoria. Now you're quite far from the core planets of the Federation.
And with everything going on, it would not be safe, in my opinion, to bring my family onto the ship.
Yeah.
I will take a chance to be who I'm meant to be. I won't let fear keep me from trying. It's time for me to make a change, to start living the life I want. I'm gonna reach for the sky, way up high. I'm never giving up. It's up to me to see who I can be, make dreams reality. I'm never giving up. 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 I'm never giving up.
Okay, Andrew. Well, guess what you get to do now? You get to remove a momentum because we have a new scene.
Okay. We're down to 1.
Let's have Jahan roll engineering control, and let's have Caleb roll for the ship communications engineering.
So I got 2 successes.
Excellent. Did you get a success, Caleb?
Yep.
So 3 momentum, Andrew. Okay. A priority 1 message has come in, Jahan, and you can see that it's from Starbase 2 with Admiral Foxwell's name attached to it.
Captain, there's a message coming in from Starbase 2.
Put it through to my private room, please.
Admiral Foxwell.
I should probably take that in my private room. So
All right, I will forward it over there.
thanks so much, sir.
Yeah, I forgot to say it is now the morning after the evening's events. The Varen has left and has returned back to Starbase 2. Okay, so you go into your captain's ready room, and there is Admiral Foxwell on the screen once you poke it.
Okay.
She says, Captain, it's good to talk to you.
You as well, Admiral Foxwell. What's up?
Well, I am asking, we're having a situation here on a planet. I'm going to request that you head to Catherine. It's a jungle planet where some of the founding species of the Federation here are setting up a colony named Veldoria.
Okay.
The Vulcans are they're going to be like segmented kind of groups on this planet, and the Vulcans are planning on using the planet as a scanning station for deep space. And the Andorians are planning on setting up a medical care facility to help relieve Starbase 2 of their issues that they're having.
Awesome.
And the Tellarites are planning on setting up a trading port. So it's going to be a different hub of activity. But here's the unfortunate thing. As they were determining site plans, a Tellarite expedition team discovered a previously undiscovered city with pre-warp technology present.
Okay.
So from the reports received, the civilization has invented discs or something of that nature that enable telepathic communication.
Okay.
And there has now been a diplomatic breakdown between the three delegates, their three teams, since the Andorians want to acquire the tech while the Vulcans are protesting. So I'm sending you to investigate and uphold General Order 1.
Okay, so my question to Foxwell then is like who gave these people the go ahead to start this new like hub on this planet?
Their own like people from the scanning the planet. And
So, like,
and what I think it was the Lexington. So basically their science crews and the Lexington, which is the NX ship that used to be in this area but went back to Earth, and you guys took over their spot. They scanned everything.
and so it's negligence on their part.
Perhaps. As General Order 1 is just being implemented here in the last decade, I know it's not something that the Federation and other people have really thought about at great length, but I take very seriously. So if there cannot be a means to somehow camouflage or make their things non-impactful to the civilization, if they cannot do that, then they must leave the planet in all evidence of their existence.
By any means necessary.
I don't believe violence is necessary for removing these people from the planet if needed.
I agree. I'm not a fan of violence by any means. I do know some of these people are going to be exceedingly stubborn and hard to convince. But I will do the best that I can.
Yes, Captain, I understand. At least I can tell you that at least the Vulcans are disputing it, so you may have a leg up.
Very true. All right. My crew and I will get to work.
Thank you, Captain. I look forward to your report. Foxwell out. So it's about a day's travel to Catherine.
Okay, so let me On the way then, let me call like a staff meeting,
Okay.
give them an update, but I especially want I want our hat and his second in command.
Hi, Sandon.
I want Silva. Do I have any Tellarites on my ship?
Mm-hmm.
I want him or her.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. All right. And that's oh, get my second in command too.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. So we're in our room or whatever.
So you're in your ready room, not at the back of the thing?
I don't know, wherever you would have that.
Well, are you having a private thing, or are you having like a staff meeting plus those like 3 or 4 people?
Those people that I mentioned only.
Okay. So that probably would be in your room.
Okay. Okay.
So just so I understand, you're having our hat, Sova, your second in command, our hat second in command, and a Tellarite from the ship.
Yeah. Who are they? Who's the Tellarite?
The Tellarite is a science lab officer. They work the first shift of the day. Their name is Golu Larath. They are
Is
a
this a
female
male or
Tellarite. It's
female?
a female Tellarite.
Okay. Alrighty. So, thank you all for joining me today. The reason I called you in here is I just got a report from Admiral Foxwell that we are to head to a planet that has been colonized previously with pre-warp technology. General Order 1 is at play here because a group of Tellarites, Vulcans, and Andorians have decided to colonize themselves there on this planet. I'll just relay the information of what they're doing just to save time.
So Vulcans are doing like setting up like a scanning telemetry like telescope. That's their plans. Andorians are setting up a medical facility, and the Tellarites were setting up like a market, like a merchant area.
Yeah. Okay. So I relay that to the crew here. So the reason why I have each of you here is because I want your insight on how to encourage with forcefully encourage each group to come to the same agreement. We need to either get a new planet that's not already been colonized. There's no contamination for them to set up these things. Because these things I believe in. I believe they need to happen. I think they're important. And I want to see it through. My intention is not to stop it, but we either need to relocate or we need to set up some sort of invisible force field where the pre-warp colony cannot be contaminated as per General Order 1. So those are, as I see it, our options. I'm willing to hear your ideas. Yeah, we really all need to work together to see that we get this thing solved in a peaceful and concise, efficient way. Quickly. Before
Captain, if the options are isolation or relocation, I suggest we have a alternative planet ready for them to move to if that is the option.
I like that idea, so we can go in with already, present them an option instead of this maybe situation. So, Silva, is that something that you can get started on?
Of course. I would like to say that I'm sure if we made the Vulcans aware of the presence of the pre-warp civilization, they would take actions themselves to either hide the equipment or move to another planet.
Yes, I'm glad that you mentioned that. I think I left that detail out. They are already on our side, essentially.
Is there anything else, or would you like me to go out and start looking for alternate planets?
I think you can be dismissed. Thank you.
The science lab officer, who's a Tellarite, she says that she's like, Captain, most of my people enjoy abrasive conversation and are used to insulting one another. But that being said, my family and myself took a route to science, and these sound like they're merchants and traders. So I don't necessarily know how they will react. It is a cultural thing that we enjoy argument, but not everybody subscribes to the same way of thinking.
Very good. Thank you for your insight. Is there, I suppose we could just get in there and first of all observe how they interact with each other to decipher how they choose to be.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I would like you to come down to the planet with us. If they're more peaceful kind of tolerates, then you can be yourself and help. And if they're more argumentative, then I'm going to need you to put on a fake front and be argumentative with them and help me to do the same.
Yeah. So I'm going to have Mike. Let's have you roll, Mike. Command presence. Difficulty 1. Difficulty 1.
Need a 14. I have 1 success.
So as the science lab officer is walking out of the room, this Tellarite lady, it kind of tickles the back of your head that, like, that if somebody was giving access to things, if it's not whoever was helping the previous chef, if it's not your security crew, you recall that it probably is somebody on Sova's, under Sova, somebody in some science department, and that she is one of the individuals on a list of names who is under Sova. So she could be somebody to watch.
I see. So has Arhat already done a workup on her, checking up on her, or
from what I last understood is that him and Sova were working out a means of investigation, because like many things, you don't necessarily want to do what they call the old terminology like drumheads, where you're just kind of accusing people of things,
right,
and putting them on trial just because of circumstantial. Yeah.
I can look at all the files, but the files don't tell me certain details that I need to know. I can kind of pick out who might be more likely based on the file, but at the same time, there's no guarantee.
Right. And then he has to, Arhat has to make his own gut decisions on who does he investigate? Of these people on the list, okay, now he's going to spend time and effort, tracking these people to see what they're doing on the ship. Okay. Anything else here, or?
Let me go into my quarters and send my dad another message.
Okay.
Okay, so I just record a brief message that relays, without giving out security information, to my dad, what I'm dealing with, what this mission is about, and ask him for some, basically for his advice on how he thinks I should go in there.
Well, probably by even probably after dinner, you'll probably get a reply. Okay. After that message being sent, do you head to Catherine?
Yeah.
So at Warp 5, it'll take about 22 hours. So if you want to go slightly faster, you can push it, but
because I'm looking for planets, so should I roll? Or
okay. Well, you probably would want to scan when you're in the general system, right?
Okay, so you want me to? I'll wait. Well, because that's true. Because we don't have any records about what's in this area, do we?
Right. Yeah. No.
Okay.
I mean, you do mean, you do have a little bit from what the Lexington did like scanned, but it's very minimal because the Lexington was being pulled in like 4 or 5 different directions because every time they were, doing something, they were being bombarded with other species finding their ships and requesting medical assistance.
Oh, can I contact them?
The Lexington?
Yeah.
Yep. It would take about a day for you to get a message because they're back on Earth. But you can talk to the captain.
Okay. Yeah. So let me send it. Let me send a message
Okay.
so I can correspond with them like in the 1800s.
Okay. So it's Captain Edison Buchanan.
Okay. So I would just basically get from them like, hey, or I would tell them, hey, you kind of like screwed up.
Okay.
So I guess I'm just basically telling him what happened, and
Okay.
then like, basically telling him that like, I totally get mistakes happen.
Yeah.
Our technology isn't infallible, and there's only so much we can do. But I just wanted to make you aware that this is a pretty rough situation that now we have to deal with. So, maybe like do some extra scans next time or something. Like, be aware that
Okay.
this is a thing that like your crew missed, and like
Yeah.
whether it's a scanner issue or like a sensors issue or a crew issue, like I felt the captain to captain, they needed to know what was going on.
So roll a science reason difficulty 1.
Okay. I have a success.
Yeah, 1 success.
Yep. I rolled a 6. I needed a 14.
So as you're typing up the message to Captain Buchanan, you kind of also have the thought that like, yes, they clearly messed up and that that something happened and they didn't catch it, but there's also a part of your mind that's kind of clicking that like maybe there's another alternative reason why they didn't catch them.
Yeah, like maybe the civilization is blocking sensors or something somehow, which wouldn't make a ton of sense. But I get, like I said at the end, like I just kind of want captain to captain. I want him to know that like there was a mistake, a significant mistake made, and whether that's something that needs to be looked at like physically on his ship or a officer needs to be like looked into or something. Like, yeah, I'm not like being a jerk. I'm not like telling him he's an idiot or anything, but I would want to know if our crew like screwed something up pretty significantly. I'd want to know. So
you got it. We'll say that the 22 hours goes by and you arrive at Catherine, and there are a few ships in orbit, but not many.
Okay.
And you can tell that that most of the people are on planet on site from the home, like the hub that they've already pre-built that's on the planet.
Okay. So first thing I want to do is I want to run scans to see if I can tell that the other people are there.
Okay, Silva. Roll science reason. Yeah, let's have Mike roll science and sensors. It's difficulty 0. Well, you know what? I'll make it difficulty 1 because you're doing more intensive.
I rolled a 5.
Okay.
I forgot to ask about focuses. Because am I doing bioscans?
You are just looking for really anything out of anything that would show up, whether it's the civilization or the people. You're doing like a broad scan.
So bioscan or geology is not
Not geology. Bio would be fine because you are looking to see if you can see people.
Okay, because I was just checking because I got a 17 and a 5, so that's only one success. Unless I can do a focus, then there would be 2 successes.
I'll let the biology scan fly.
So I got 2 successes.
Difficulty 1, so that's 3, so 2 momentum.
We now have 6.
So when scanning the planet, immediately the home base comes up, and you can see the Vulcans, the Tellarites, and the Andorians down there.
Sure.
And you can scan the planet, but nothing comes up
else,
on,
huh?
Nothing comes
Okay.
up on sensors.
So something is like dampening. They've got something in place somehow.
But the interesting thing is when Sova scans, it's not like a gap of the planet of Catherine is like not showing up.
Sure.
Everything is being scanned.
Right.
That's all I'm just saying. Like, it's not like a gap in sensor readings where it's like, oh, clearly the city is here, but we can't. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a little obvious, I would think. Okay.
Right.
All right. So we're all on the bridge right now?
Yes.
Like
No.
Sova and me.
Everybody but Caleb's characters.
Okay. So I guess I just like ideas as to why we're not seeing them either. Any ideas? Any thoughts? Because I kind of believe there's some sort of dampener down there somehow.
It is possible because they are pre-warp. They may have some type of field that we are not taking into account.
Yeah, I agree.
Do we know if the planet is on the surface? Because if they are underground, like in caves, there are many
Subterranean.
There are many minerals that could block scanning.
That's an excellent idea.
So for preliminary reports, just to help you guys, they are above ground.
Okay. So yeah, how do we know that there's people there that our folks ran into them or something? Like saw them?
A Tellarite expedition team on the ground came across them.
And has it already been contaminated? Like, do the people already know there's other folks there?
You're not 100% sure, but it doesn't seem like it since nobody has like come back and reported that. Like, nobody's come out and said like, oh, they're attacking us, or like, oh, this thing happened. You're not getting like Foxwell didn't have that type of report.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's all we can do from up here.
Should we be taking the shuttle since our sensors can't pick up the indigenous people?
Yeah, it does seem like there might be like sensor, like some sort of issue there. So yeah, let's be safe. Take the shuttle. So I guess Lozesh would be flying us down.
So you're having Lozesh go down to the planet with you, or he's just flying you down?
Just flying us down.
Okay.
Let's not get too crazy.
Okay. And then who's gonna be your like your away team?
So my second in command is gonna stay here.
Okay.
And then it's up to our hat, like whether he wants to whatever he wants to do there, like with him and his second in command. If he feels like somebody should stay up here, that's fine with me.
Because it's Tellarite and Andorian, and Andorian should go down.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure about the Tellarite. Just because we need a Tellarite that is a little bit more forward than the one we had.
Yeah. So I guess from my perspective, when I told her like I expect her to be like all things to all people, like she didn't give me like, oh God, I don't know if I can do it. So I'm not I believe in her.
Yeah.
So unless our head tells me differently, then I don't.
Exactly. exactly. Unless our hat fills you in, like you have no real reason to not let her go.
Yeah, it's one of those things I have no details on whether or not she shouldn't go down. I would just be cautious of her if she goes down.
Yeah, and so for your benefit, Mike, it's like basically that role you did when you were looking at her. This is either a great opportunity to, it's basically
True.
like she's going to
Flush her out.
be kind of, yeah, you may have a great opportunity to really like see how she is, like if she does something weird.
Yes.
Okay, so you're
Okay.
taking down, so it's the captain, our hat.
Oh, first of all, before we go down, has Silva found any other planets?
Oh, you want him to scan?
Yep.
Am I doing just one scan?
You could do a general broad scan again. We'll do difficulty 1. It'll be the same thing. And then we'll have Jahan roll for sensors and science for the ship. 1d20.
So I can't use any focuses, right? Because I'm not scanning like geology or bio. I'm just doing general where the planets are.
Yeah, I mean you're not really scanning like the planets in depth to understand their geology.
Okay.
You're kind of more looking like if they're suitable for living.
Yeah.
Success.
Okay.
2 successes for me.
Okay, so 3.
Since I can't bank any more successes,
you have 2, so you have 2 momentum.
Yeah, can I use them to get better scans?
With those 2 momentums, I will allow you to find on sensors a planet about 2 days journey from here at warp 5 that is passable. It's not bad, but it's also it's kind of as you see from this planet, it is very lush. It has a lot of jungle. It's very plant life heavy, where the other one that you're scanning is a little more sparse. But it is livable. It's just not as resource heavy. Let's put it that way.
And there was nothing else.
No, everything else is either other factions live on it and they're not open to the idea of colonization, or they're like wastelands. They're not capable of supporting life without EVA suits.
Okay. So, Captain, I have completed my scan. The only planet I found is a 2-day journey at warp 5, but unfortunately it is not as rich in resources. So it is an option, but I don't think it would be accepted as readily.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
Well,
I couldn't find anything else in the area.
that is unfortunate, but understandable. And something is better than nothing. So thank you very much. All right. Now that you're done with that, let's get to the shuttle and head down there. So I've got Sova. I assume our hat's coming. You're coming, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Who, I just realized, isn't our head's the first officer, right? So
Yeah.
who's being left in charge?
If Jahan's not going down, then Jahan.
I think I'll leave Jahan up here in charge. So Jahan's in charge. Okay. So myself, Sova, our hat, the Tellarite. I think that's it.
Okay, no Sandin?
No.
Okay.
I don't think I need a doctor yet. Seems drastic. And I don't feel like I need
You're gonna need him. You're gonna need him up here if John's in charge.
Oh boy.
All right. Let's go then.
Doomed us all, Captain.
Okay, well, that's where we'll end it as the shuttle pod leaves the shuttle bay and heads for Catherine.
I'm excited to flex my jerk role-playing muscles and start getting into arguments with Tellarites. That's gonna be fun.
Well, next time
my
we'll
gosh.
see what the crew gets up to as they investigate the planet Catherine.
Catherine.
Oh, Kefren.
Oh, Catherine. Hello,
I
Catherine.
want everybody.
We get to
to-
try and come up with the best insults that we can think of.
Yes.
That's it, gang.
Okay.
Till next time.
Okay.
Okay.
Was fun.
We'll see if Jahan gets into any trouble on the Drake. No. You
yeah,
definitely
nothing
didn't
will
leave.
happen.
You definitely didn't leave House and Clark and Lozesh up on the ship with John. It's definitely not going to be a problem at all.
It'll be fine.
All right, everyone. Have a good night, and we'll
Good
see you in a
night.
couple weeks.
Right.
Bye.
Night.
Good night.
Bye.